glorious morning in South London, lovely bright sunshine and a clear blue sky. Michael Vaughan has won the toss. England are first up with the bat, and first up for us from his truck is Simon Hughes.
Well, I'm so excited I can hardly hold the microphone. But if you think this game and this series has been on a knife edge, just remember back a couple of tests to a couple of incidents. It's been a tale of full tosses. Just look at this. This is back to Edgbaston, 4-1 for Australia. Harmison's bowling to Brett Lee. This is how much this series has been on a knife edge. 4-1, and he gets a full toss and he smashes it, but straight to the man at deep point for one. And the men change places, and England win that game. Now here we are at Trent Bridge, 8-1 for England. The full toss, if he hadn't hit that for 4, Matthew Hoggard, England might not have won that game. So the Ashes would now have been Australia's if those full tosses hadn't gone to the boundary and for 1 at Edgbaston. Now here we are at Old Trafford. The last over, 1 wicket to win, and if Matthew Hoggard had just held on to the ball here, instead of throwing it back to the bowler, if he'd held on to the ball there and run McGrath out, England would have won that game and they would have had the Ashes. So, now to this match. McGrath is back, he's fit, but how fit? And he won't certainly have bowled all that much for the last month. He won't get the same amount of movement when he bowls as he did at Lord's, that jagging back down the slope. Maybe Shane Warne will come into the picture, but at last, for England, the great thing is he hasn't got to bowl last, and he won't get the amount of turn and extravagant movement that he got there at Edgbaston to bowl out Andrew Strauss. It's the fearsome foursome for England that really hold the power. Simon Jones, though, is out of this game, and so it means Steve Harmison has to stand up for himself. Unfortunately, England have the beaming man mountain, Andrew Flintoff, worth 2. So now it's down to the captains. Ricky Ponting has to rally his ageing troops one more time, but this man won't cease from the mental fight, and he's got the nation behind him.
Thanks, Simon. Mike Atherton and Geoffrey Boycott are with me. The mental fight, said Simon Hughes.
Yeah, I think England's mental approach is crucial in this game. Obviously, they only need a draw to regain the Ashes, and you worry that they might play for that draw, and that would be a disastrous move, I think, because what's worked for them since Lord's has been an aggressive approach, particularly with the bat, and especially against Shane Warne. And today, on a first-day pitch that shouldn't offer too much spin for Shane Warne, I think it's vital that England's batsmen have the same approach and go after the leg spinner.
OK. Geoffrey, what about the pitch?
Perfect toss to win. You look at the pitch, it's very dry. I think it'll go through with a nice pace and bounce, but I've seen pitches here which have been quicker and bouncier. I think their new ball might grip a bit on the surface. I don't think it'll turn a great deal first day. It's flat, it's good for batting, it's a sunny day, a great toss to win, but it ain't much use unless you bat well. And I think they've got to bat with a bit of common sense as well as being positive.
Thanks, Geoffrey. Michael Slater and Tony Greig are right here. Slats, Glenn McGrath walked past us just now and said, I feel 21 again.
Never felt better, he said, and that's a great sign. And talking to a couple of the Australian boys this morning, he said in the last 2 days of practice, he's got some zip back, so that's a good sign. There is the negative side, he hasn't played a full-blown match for some time, but it's great to see him back in. It was a huge toss. I think Australia have to come out and really keep themselves under control, not come out and try and bully England. They have to set up this discipline that England have bowled with right through this series.
Greggy, a lot of talk about the hype in the game.
Yeah, I think Slats has got a good point there. I spoke to 1 or 2 of the Australians, and they reckon that they've been here before, World Cup finals. They play these big matches well. They're not too pumped up at the moment. They feel disciplined. They feel as if they're hungry, and they're going to be aggressive. So those are the qualities you're looking for in a champion team. It's a question really of whether they can in fact pull that sort of thing off today, play all those aspects of the game.
Yeah, and it's such a big moment for the likes of Glenn McGrath, Shane Warne, and we can probably throw Adam Gilchrist and the 2 ageing openers in that as well, Langer and Hayden. This is maybe the last opportunity they'll get to play in an Ashes Test match here in England. So I think that is going to bring the best out of them. Also, they've got to win, so it's going to push them forward.
I was going to say, that's the unfamiliar territory for them, isn't it? They're used to winning, they've been losing, they're playing catch-up.
Absolutely, and we could start to, we should talk about the side that makes the catches. We haven't said much about that. And umpires' mistakes. 2 things just to keep an eye on during this test match.
Umpires' mistakes. Well, we've got the 2 umpires today, are Billy Bowden and Rudy Kurtzen from South Africa. The news from the Oval is that the weather is good. The toss has been won by Michael Vaughan. It looks an extremely good surface to bat on. He's chosen to bat first. Paul Collingwood is in the side, not James Anderson. See you back in a moment. Bet you it's 2 runs.
I'll bet 3.
Sorted.
That's got a heart.
If you've just tuned in, it's a lovely morning here in South London. England have won the toss. They've chosen to bat, and Paul Collingwood is in their side. The Australians have Glenn McGrath fit to play. Now, N-Power, the sponsors, have created an initiative where all around the land, the idea is that you join in with William Blake's Jerusalem. It's going to happen at the Oval and around England now. William Blake's Jerusalem, sung in many parts of Britain today as we wait for the cricket match, an event that people are talking about nationwide, an event that people think compares with 1966 when England won the World Cup, certainly with Euro 96, and certainly with the Rugby World Cup in Australia just a couple of years ago. Everything is at stake. England have not held the Ashes for 16 years and 38 days. And now the Australians, led by Ricky Ponting, with so many great players, the world champions, down the steps of the grand old ground in South London. Glenn McGrath is fit and will play, and here he comes, and here they come. This is pretty electric down here, I've got to say. And now the first roars for England's opening batsman. Andrew Strauss first, then Marcus Trescothick. Phenomenal noise. What a climax, what a match we have ahead of us. Amidst it all and ready in the commentary box are Geoffrey Boycott and Richie Benaud.
Thanks, Mark. Morning, everyone. Could hardly be more perfect. The rendition of the great song, players coming out, and lovely sunshine. And so far as England is concerned, the toss to win. And the call from Ricky Ponting was incorrect. England bat first on what looks to be An absolute cracker of a pitch. Lovely sight, the Oval, with this new stand built at the Vauxhall end. That's where we're sitting, and gives a super view and has improved the ground a tremendous amount.